Hi everyone, and thanks for attending my talk. I tried to explain several years of study. We started this study in 2016. When we start, of course, well, like too much people, we look for any new species, any new habitats, any new in anything, no? Okay, well, every people talk about Cozumel is again, sorry. But Cozumel have three times to emerge from the sea, and of course have several times that was followed the caves by the glaciation. And we study in the first, in the area, the older area in the island. This is the most recently, like you can see around the coast. There are several cenotes in there, close to the shoreline. And in these places, there are halocline, 5 meters, 7 meters, 12 meters, depends from distance. In this case, we study one cenote here. Okay, that's Cenote Chempita. Cenote Chempita have the first halocline at 12 meters, have a brackish area, the long distance, more or less 55 meters, and then reach the second halocline, that dark marine layer. In this area, we can find different species. In 2016, when we did collect the first time, in my last Anchialine meeting, I showed some ideas in some year, ideas about these species. Now I described these species. We take several measurements about the normal pH, oxygen dissolved, salinity, temperature, and of course, well, we found more reported previously reported about the freshwater lens and the brackish lens, depends the size, well, and the marine layer. Of course, in the entrance have the more variation. This data is from around of year. Each month was taken measures. And of course, well, we take notes about what animals we can see, depends of the month. And we check that in the colder months, the colder is this idea because it's tropical, okay? But in the colder months, we found Shivalbanus, Remipedia, isopods mainly. And of course, in another months, we can solve rings in different species. Because in the first instance, when we start, we did entrance with the hydrolyte, and then get the profile, but the profile is not enough for understand what happened with the animals, and then we did put data loggers in the marine layer for a year, and we registered in the first instance one small increase of the temperature. There are one small pools of water entrance in the cave by the precipitation. Also, we did put another sensor, another data logger with the oxygen recorder. Each data logger is recorded each hour, and please you check this point, this time, in the colder or in the rainy period, because in all times the temperature was the same range, and after this, when the rain coming, the temperature changing. Also with the oxygen, we recorded probably what value or what parameters, environmental parameters could be more important for the distributional, and we identify the oxygen and temperature. But, this is the first part of the history, because it's not enough for understand exactly why these animals can be seen in one month or in other months. And then we need to think that the Yucatan Peninsula is in the track of the tropical cyclone, and the tropical cyclones, hurricanes, have many waters that they bring. And in Yucatan Peninsula, the last 150 years, 164 major hurricanes touched the Yucatan Peninsula. This is important because after this, in the next year, using the pandemic times, we did put another sensor, and in another sensor was in the middle of the two hurricanes. The first one was in October 2020. This hurricane was category 3 in the Saffir-Simpson scale. And this hurricane not touched the island, passed to the south, passed to the north, but they bring too much water. The CONAGUA in Mexico, the federal institution that registers the precipitation, showed that just when the hurricane touched the land, there are too much rain and precipitation. And then our sensor was important change in this normally range. And in the second change was to the Zeta hurricane, just 4 weeks after. And when we analyze exclusively what happened with Delta, when the hurricane touched the Cozumel, or is more close to Cozumel, the temperature increase is 0.2 degrees. Okay. After come down and have several 2 or 3 days to reach the lower value, and take some weeks to again establish the same temperature or close to the temperature. And then with the tropical cyclone Zeta, I say the 3 weeks after, this was lesser, it is a category 1, however, have more water because the hurricane passed to the south, towards Tulum area. And of course, in the same case, the hurricane when touched the land, too many waters in the rainfall was reaching to the area. No? And Zeta, for example, when we analyze exactly what happened with Zeta, well, Zeta have too small increase in the temperature. The second one was exactly when the hurricane touched the land, and then due to too much water, have more down in the temperature and reach again to the it's not exactly the same temperature previously, but they have a month to reach normal temperature. Well, all this information is important because this change in the temperature in the normal ecosystems that was described with few variations, and this data logger was put 27 meters in the depth, is important because the physiological response to the streams or remipedes or isopods was influenced by this change. You imagine in 150 years, how many changes the animals need switch to adaptation about these environmental changes. Well, the last year, just for finish, we did put 3 data loggers in different depth in order to see how is the transfer of the temperature changing in the fresh water or 6 meters in the depth, and then in the marine layer again, and then in the deeper area of the cenote that reach 16 meters, we did put 55 meters. And well, we are lucky, and then was one hurricane again, unfortunately. And then, but this hurricane was very, very small, was passed quickly, and only have 130 meters in millimeters in the water accumulative. However, when we checked the graph just the last week, by the way, we did check the graph. This pulse is a hurricane in the temperature change, but when the data logger was at 55 meters, the water was not important. But there are another pulses of normally raining pulses in the area that was very, very important. And in this case, well, all country was passed by the water in several moments, no? The hurricane was very quickly at one time, but in this case, when the data logger was put in the deeper area, the temperature spent several weeks, well, not several weeks, 2 or 3 months to reach again in the same temperature range. These have some implications because, well, in the first instance, we identified that in the colder months, preferably, we can see remipede and isopods, but the tropical cyclones or hurricanes have an important role in the environmental condition in this all analysis, the completely analysis. And there are one increase in the temperature using the moment in the rainfall reach the Cozumel, but the drainage time spent 2 or 3 days that come down the temperature, and then when by the temperature reach the same range, Spain depends where, spend 3-4 weeks or 3 months to reach again the same. There have, I say, the physiological and distributional change could be influenced by these conditions. Well, thanks for your attention. I I don't know if you have. So.